Okay, welcome to the Chapter 6 test. All right, so for some of these questions, yeah, you're going to need that table we were using on the last one on page 320. So let's get started. Number one, a fee of $6 per month, or for a fee of $6 per month, Selma is allowed an unlimited number of deposits and 10 self-service withdrawal transactions on her bank account. Each additional self-service transaction costs 50 cents. Each full service transaction costs $1.50. If she keeps a minimum balance of $2,000, her monthly fee is waived. Okay, so for this one, all you're going to do is fill in the info. So you're starting off with a balance of $2,879.54. And for example, for the first one, there was a withdrawal of $200. So my first step is going to be to go my starting amount minus 200. And that's what's going to go into that box right there, right? And work your way down. So after, just remember, after 10 self-service withdrawal transactions, you start having different types of costs. So you might or might not have that be a case. If the number in the end is less than $2,000, then there's going to be a $6 fee as well. So go ahead and do that. For this one, it's kind of tough for me to mark online. So what I'm going to get you to do for this one is show me your test when you're done, and I'm going to mark the paper version of it. So go ahead and do your work for number one now. Okay, number two. Jamal has invested $5,000 in an account that earns $2.5% simple interest per annum for a term of 10 years. How much interest will he earn? So simple interest, well, that's the simple interest formula. And that's all I'm really going to tell you. So go ahead and figure out how much interest he will earn now. Okay, and then 2B says how much will his investment be worth at the end of the term. So now we're not looking for I, we're looking for I maybe gave you too much there. So we're looking for the total, right? So go ahead and answer 2B now. Number three, an investment earning simple interest at a rate of 1.10% per annum for a term of 5 years earned $82.50 in interest. What was the principal? So I is equal to PRT. We are looking for the principal. The other one I'd maybe just remind you of is that our rate, though, needs to be as a percent as well. So you need to rearrange this equation to solve for P. Yeah, so I'd recommend put your numbers in first, maybe multiply your rate and your time so you get like one number, and then get it over to the other side. So yeah, so go ahead and answer number three now. Number four, calculate the final value after 10 years if you invest $5,000 at 2.5% compounded annually. Okay, so the word compounded annually tells me it's not going to be the simple interest formula anymore. It's going to be this one. A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the power of NT. And give you a little hint here, since it's compounded annually, this becomes quite a bit simpler because N is just 1, right? And that's it. We just really need to put this in our calculator properly. So that's it. We're looking for A. So just plug the numbers in, be careful with your calculations, and yeah. So go ahead and answer number 4 now. So number 5, calculate the amount of interest earned in 10 years on $1,000 invested at 3% compounded monthly. So again, we're going to start off with our formula. A is equal to P, 1 plus R over N, NT. Okay, so something to remember here now, compounded monthly. What is your N value going to be now? So what you're asking yourself is how many months are in a year, right? That's what your N value is going to be. And then the other thing to watch out for is, well, this needs to be as a decimal, right? Not as a percent. And we are looking for the amount of interest earned. This formula gives us the total amount, right? The A is going to be our total amount. So If you want to find the interest, that's just going to be your total amount minus your original principal, right? Okay, so go ahead and answer number 5 now. Okay, number 6. Okay, it says calculate the interest due on the following credit card balances. So A says an unpaid balance of $1,629.53 at a rate of $19.50 for 21 days. So this is just our simple interest formula. And the only other thing I'd remind you of is that T should be in years. So they've given it in days. How do you write that in years instead? So go ahead and answer 6A now. Okay, and then 6B, going to be the same type of thing. Actually, almost identical, just different numbers. So go ahead and answer 6B now. Okay, 7. And actually, number 7 we are going to skip, so you can cancel number 7. Number 8, Harpreet took a payday loan of $500. He had to repay $540 within 7 days. What was his daily interest rate? So remember, these ones we're also dealing with I is equal to PRT. So you're going to be solving for R, your time that you put in. Since we're looking for the daily interest rate, I'd put my time in as days. You don't have to change that into years. And then just solve for R. But just remember, after you solve for R, you need to multiply by 100%. You need to write it as an actual percentage, right? Not a decimal. Okay, and then what was the annual interest rate? So the annual interest rate, so if you figure out your daily interest rate, how many days are in a year? That's your hint. Okay, so go ahead and answer 8A and B now. Okay, now number 9. Nathaniel wants to buy a new bicycle. His payment options are option 1, pay $2,055.99 cash. So that's how much the bike is worth, right? We're going to need that. He only has $400 saved up, so he can take out a loan for the rest from his bank at a rate of 7.25% per annum over 2 years. That sounds like one of those things we got to look at that table from before. Okay, so if he chooses option 1, what will his monthly payments be? Okay, so we got to figure out how much first he actually needs to borrow. So step number 1, you're going to have to take the total amount that the bike costs and subtract how much he has saved up, right? Because he doesn't need to pay interest on that. Okay, once you do that, then that's how much you actually need to borrow. Step number 2, you're going to need to go back to your table. So remember, this is percent borrowed per thousand, or monthly payment per $1,000 borrowed, I mean. So you got to figure out for the percentage along the side how many years it's going to be for, and then it's going to be whatever that dollar value is divided by 1,000. So if you remember from before, so there's your percentage, there's your time period. So got to figure out how much it would be per month. So that's number 9A. So go ahead and answer number 9A now. Okay, 9B. If he chooses option 2, what annual rate of interest will he pay? Okay, so number 2 was take the store payment plan of $12 monthly payments of $180. Well, first off, we got to see how much did he actually pay in interest. So what I would do is figure out, okay, 12 monthly payments of that. What does that come to? How can you figure that out? So figure out how much he actually paid, compare it to how much the bike actually costs to figure out your interest first. And then it's going to have something to do with I is equal to PRT after. We were looking for interest rate. Okay, so that's all I'm going to tell you. So go ahead and answer 9B now. All right, and then lastly, 9C, calculate the total cost of each option. Which option should he choose and why? So this one shouldn't be too bad. You've already actually figured out option number 2 for question B. So we just need to figure out option number 1. So just the total amount that option number 1 is going to cost, compare it to option number 2. And that's it. So go ahead and answer 9C now. Okay, and that's the test. So that's going to be it for Chapter 6.